Hello and welcome to another edition of Sik'ar Reviews. And I'm coming to you from a different park today. This one's just a tiny little park. It's real small. But it's got a nice fountain and I like being there sometimes. Today I'm going to be smoking the Rocky Patel Signature Series. And I apologize if you hear any cars in the background. This cigar is an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper with Nicaraguan and Honduran long fillers. And that's pretty much about it for it. No word on the binder. It's blended by Rocky Patel. Cut real nice. Seems like it's maybe on the moist side. Kind of a sweet hay note. Sugary, slightly. There's just a sweetness to the tobacco on a dry puff. Wrapper looks real nice. Got a little ding there, but dings happen. So without further ado, I am going to fire this up. Creamy and buttery, and I almost didn't come to the park today. When I started to wake up this morning, it was pouring rain, and I was like, it's gonna be wet and gross out there, and it's gonna be threatening to rain. But I got up and looked outside, and now it's clear skies. All the rain seems to have dried up, so I decided to go to the closer park. Just because I wanted to get and sitting down. There's a light bitter taste in here, but most of it's creamy and buttery. I want to say that the bitter note is like a type of nut, perhaps, but I'm having a hard time putting a finger on it. It seems not to agree with the cream and butter too much. But I'll get to the halfway point of this and I'll let you know how this is progressing, and hopefully it's not too bright out here. I thought there was actually some shade cover down here because I usually sit under shade, but there just isn't any down here today, so see you shortly. Hello and welcome to the halfway point of this Rocky Patel Signature. And this is an odd cigar. It really truly is. Now I'm going to try to explain why. Ugh, I got burps. So anyways, it's still fairly creamy and buttery. It's very mild in flavor. Yet there's a kind of tree barkish nut flavor that's mixed with pepper, and it's so very mild that it's very hard to distinguish exactly what it is. And it's not really a pepper, but it's not really a nut, and it's not really tree, wood, but it's like the three of them combined together in some little weird marriage that seems to just make sense with them. It's fairly tasty to this point, but there's really sort of no distinctive flavor, yet there's a very distinctive flavor. So that's why I call it a little bit of an odd cigar. It's still got the cigar-ish flavors and taste, but I suppose depending on the roller, whether you get more of the pepper, more of the kind of nut, or more of the wood, I think the cream and butter will always be there, and the rest of it will kind of be in the background. But I've actually heard where a person called this a pepper bomb, and it drove them insane because it was just too strong of a cigar. This is actually really mild, though, so I just suppose that there was too much pepper in the one he got. It's kind of, this seems to be a love-or-hate relationship. I noticed where one guy bought several boxes just because he loved them so much, and he wanted to tell the world about them. And I saw another place where a guy bought a 5-pack, smoked 2 of them, threw 3 out. So, you know, I would never throw out a cigar, though. No matter how bad it is, there'll be a time where I'm desperate enough to smoke that, and maybe some aging would have done it some good. I'm going to chalk up the little wonkiness I've had to the wind out here. I mean, most of the time it's not very windy, but every once in a while I'm getting a gust that just rips through here, like right now. I've been getting hangnails, well, more of a thumbnail that is like up here that's unlit while the rest is down here lit. So it's just, I think it's the weather, and usually I do not have a weather problem with my cigars. I know it can play a factor, though, but the wind's coming from like every direction, and so I'm not going to, in other words, what I'm going to say is, although this cigar could be a wonky cigar, I'm not going to call it a wonky cigar because it could be something else, and I know it could be something else. So, but I'm letting you know because usually I don't have that problem, which means it's probably slightly wonky, but you know, I've only needed to fix it twice just because of really, really bad hangnails. Usually I never have to fix, and fixing out here right now is insane because my lighter won't even stay lit. It's that windy. So, windproof lighter, not windproof. So anyways, I'll see you in the final third of this cigar and let you know how this has progressed. Hello, and welcome to the final third of this Rocky Patel signature series. And I gotta tell you, there's a couple things. First, this is one cigar that's causing me to have kind of this burping. I have not had a cigar that has done this to me in probably 8 months to a year. I don't know what it is about the cigar that causes it, and I kind of have a feeling that it's usually Rockies that do. I just don't remember too clear whether the last one that did this to me was a Rocky or not. Yeah, I don't even know why it does that. Number 2, I made a little mark on the end here in ash, to the side that it kept tunneling on, or, you know, where the hangnail was, so that I could determine. The hangnail is always on the same side. It's the same side that doesn't want to burn. Now, if you remember at the beginning of this, I actually did a roll test, and I told you I couldn't hear any crackling, so it seemed that it might be a little moist. It seems that possibly that this was had too much hydration in it. It wasn't dry enough yet. Could have done with some dry boxing. Factor in the wind and moister than typical wrapper, and what do you get? You get part of the wrapper that doesn't want to burn. This was almost a recipe for disaster, in the fact that it's needed so many touch-ups. It's rare that I need any. I really think that, sorry, weird truck, never seen one of those. It's for Washington Trust Bank, and it looks like it's a mobile bank teller machine. It's kind of weird. Anyways, and it was big, and it looked like it was armor plated. So, anyways, I kind of feel that this needed some dry boxing, and being in windy conditions just was not helping it at all. So it's mostly my fault. I should have dry boxed this, and I shouldn't have smoked it in the wind. I should have done a crinkle test before going out. If I heard some slight crinkling, then it would have been a good time to take it out. It would have probably burnt better. Next, in the final third here, there's quite a bit more pepper coming in toasty notes. The butter and cream kind of slipped to the background. And it's kind of interesting to have toast, butter, and cream all in the same cigar. I've had butter and cream, I've had toast and butter, I've had toast and cream, but usually I don't get a mix of all three. Unique about this cigar in that regard. Still kind of has some kind of tree and nut flavors sitting in the background, very faint. There was a graham cracker flavor that I got out of this. Only on a couple puffs did I sit there and say, whoa, graham cracker. And then it was gone. And then it came back, and then it was gone. So it doesn't seem to be a substantial flavor, but it does seem that at times that it can have that effect on you. So, would I recommend this cigar? Yeah, actually, because it is a fairly unique cigar, I would recommend, at least checking your weather conditions first, and, testing the cigar to make sure it's dry enough if you are going to go out and outside. I know most people don't want to hear cigars need to be a little dry, but this is just too moist. It's over humidified, and that's my fault. I got it sitting at my Humi right now is at 71, so I mean that's not too bad, and it's actually a Tupperware, so yeah, I'm gonna say go ahead and give this a try. And with all this said, please add and subscribe, leave questions, comments, feedback, suggestions. I'm gonna have to find shade cover in the future when I do a video outside. There's that burp again. If you smoke this and you agree or disagree, give your opinions to that effect. Just keep it nice is all I ask, and enjoy every puff.